Hi guys, this is Football On Side and I'm back with another Euro 2024 video. Today I'm looking at the favorites, how they have played so far and who I think is best positioned to win Euro 2024 at this point. As always, subscribe to the channel, hit that like and bell buttons. Let's go! Germany was extremely impressive in their first game in the opening match against Scotland, dominating them 5-1. They didn't concede a single shot on goal in the first game and they absolutely stifled Scotland with their high pressing, preventing them from getting out of their end with possession. Germany played through Toni Kroos as it was expected in that deep line playmaking position. Musiala and Wirtz were further up the pitch. They were playing very centrally, very often combining with each other and had a lot of freedom in the attacking third, and the width of the team was ensured by the fullbacks Mittelstädt and Kimmich. Germany does not have a recognized number 9 in this team, but this did not prevent their passers from regularly finding numerous runners into space or into the box. In this screenshot, Rudiger immediately identifies the run by Florian Wirtz, makes a long pass into space for him to send Wirtz one-on-one with the goalie. Next we see Joshua Kimmich sending a cross from the right half space. He has 4 options here: Wirtz, Havertz, Gündogan and Musiala, all running into the box. And this passage of play ends in a German penalty. In another passage of play, Pascal Gross has 3 options to send a pass over the heads of defenders. And when the German passers do not like the runs into the box and decide to go for a different option, they can take advantage of the preoccupation of defenders with the runners into the box. In this photo you can see Havertz, Gündogan and Musiala all running into the box, but Wirtz is a few meters behind them, totally unmarked. Kimmich identifies this option, has an open passing lane and finds Wirtz, who scores the first German goal. In the second half we saw more of the same from Germany, but Nagelsmann even decided to add a couple more dimensions. Niklas Füllkrug came on and he gave the option of having a constant number 9 presence in the box. The same goes for Leroy Sané. He added a different profile of having a fast-paced dribbling winger in the team. So Germany has many different options of the way they want to play. In general, Germany was mightily impressive in the first game, and not just because Scotland is a bad team. I think Germany, the way they play, they forced Scotland to look like a bad team with their stifling gegenpressing, with a very direct vertical play, creating chances at will. I think we still need to see how German defense particularly fares against stronger teams, but at this point Germany is the number 1 team in my power rankings. Spain started their tournament with a very comfortable 3-0 win over a decent Croatian team, even though there were some shaky moments in defense in the beginning of the game, and the game actually looked quite equal before Spain scored. After Spanish first goal, Croatia just fell apart and Spain added 2 more for a comfortable win. The main major difference of this Spanish team in comparison with the previous Spanish teams is that they don't mind giving up possession, they don't mind playing without the ball, they don't mind going on counterattacks and playing fast vertical game. The thing is that the way this team is constructed, the profiles of the players they have on the wings, particularly Nico Williams and Lamine Yamal, these are proper wingers who like to take on their defenders, who like to drive into the box with a fast-paced dribbling, and these players allow Spain to play this fast-paced vertical game. For their first goal, Fabian Ruiz immediately recognizes a chance to send Morata one-on-one on a counter-attack. Luis Enrique's team did not score a single counter-attacking goal in Euro 2020 or the World Cup 2022. I cannot help but think that the previous Spanish teams would just opt to take it easy and go back to their structure and slowly pass the ball around instead of going for a killer ball. Spain almost scored on another quick counter in the second half, but Livakovic denied Yamal with a great save. For their second goal, Yamal made several attempts to dribble on the right wing. He could not go past his man, but Yamal's attempts destabilized the Croatian defense and forced them to their left, which eventually opened space centrally for Fabian Ruiz. The similarity with the previous Spanish team is their reliance on high pressing. In this sequence, Rodri wins the ball high up the pitch, leading to a chance for Pedri. But Spain's pressing was not always this good. Their high pressing looked disjointed at times. Here, Morata tries to close down the passing lane, but Pedri or Ruiz are supposed to support him with pressing open Croatians, but they're late to do so. Spain also regularly left a lot of space between their midfield and defense. It led to a couple of chances for Croatians, who at times found open players in these spaces. De La Fuente has to find a way to solve this issue, because other top teams will not be as forgiving as Croatians. I was also not particularly impressed with Spain in low block. They regularly conceded chances, but maybe the eventual return of Laporte may help Spain solidify in defense. But overall, Spain was good against a decent Croatian team and got a dominating, comfortable win. So Spain comes third in my power rankings. Italy had a tough win against a surprisingly okay Albania. They had to come back from behind after a disastrous start to get a 2-1 win. Chiesa once again raises to the occasion in a major tournament for Italy. Him and Pellegrini caused all sorts of problems for the Albanian defense throughout the game. Italy had a very intense high pressing, particularly in the first half, preventing Albania from leaving their half. Italy regularly won the ball up high thanks to a very good pressing by their forward three and the midfielders. Here they win the ball to create a chance for Fratesi. Then Scamacca wins the ball for Chiesa, who shoots just wide from the position he likes so much. Scamacca himself did not score, but was extremely important for the Italian link-up. On numerous occasions, just like on the screenshot you see, Scamacca offers himself as an outlet in the penalty box to create a chance for Pellegrini. Italy conceded only 2 chances the whole game. They suffocated Albania's build-up, and when they managed to come closer to the Italian goal, Bastoni-Calafiore pairing was up to the task most of the game. The first chance was a fluke caused by the lack of focus, but the second chance here late in the game was perhaps young Calafiore's only mistake in the game. He makes a positional mistake to let Manai go through one-on-one. Stronger teams will be in a better position to take advantage of such mistakes. Italy won this game, and overall they weren't bad, but I think there's still a huge question mark. For me, there's still a huge question mark, and I would like to see them playing against stronger teams, particularly against Spain in the group stage, to see how they fare against them. So at this point, they're only 6th in my power rankings. The Netherlands defeated Poland 2-1 in their opening match, which was actually quite difficult for them as they also had to come back from behind. But the good news for the Dutch is that, as usual, they created many chances. The front three of Depay, Gakpo and Simons created many openings, combined very well with each other and created many chances to score. But the problem for the Dutch is usual. They can't seem to find a way to take these chances and to score. Koeman would have to find a way to solve this issue if he intends to take the Dutch team further up in this tournament. The interesting thing, or maybe the usual thing for the Dutch, is that they played very vertically. They wanted to get the ball to the attacking third as fast as possible. We would even see, particularly in the beginning of the game, the goalkeeper Verbruggen sending long balls to his attackers to go to the attacking third as quickly as possible. In this passage of play, we see Reinders seeing all the space for Gakpo and him creating a very dangerous attack for the Netherlands. Here you can see Dumfries getting the ball and immediately passing it to Xavi Simons as soon as he identifies a passing lane available. Even though the Dutch played with 4 defenders, their fullbacks, particularly Dumfries, were extremely active and at times acted like wingers. Time and time again, Dumfries and Ake were the ones who created chances for the Dutch. Dumfries had numerous chances himself, while Ake assisted both Dutch goals. But this created problems in their defense. Here you can see Dumfries getting caught higher up and Reinders has to cover for him, fails to do so properly, which gave Poland a chance to create an equalizer in the dying minutes of the game. So don't be surprised if the Dutch decide to go back to 3 centre-backs in order to have some coverage for their attacking fullbacks. I think Koeman may also decide to start Weghorst in the next game in hopes that he may be a better finisher for the Dutch. So to summarize, Holland played really well in attack, they created many chances, but they did not play as well in defense. They had problems particularly on the wings, so Koeman would have to find a way to clean that up. For me, Dutch at this point, the Netherlands are 7th in the power rankings. Next up is England, who narrowly defeated Serbia 1-0 in a game where they looked utterly devoid of creativity and created maybe 3 clear-cut chances. They were very conservative in the game in general, which has become the theme under the leadership of Gareth Southgate. I think one of the main problems was that Phil Foden couldn't really find himself a position to play in this game. He would often drift into the same central areas where Bellingham plays as well. In the sequence leading to the first goal, he comes centrally, but Kyle Walker sends a pass between a centre-back and a wing-back to find Saka, who gets a bit lucky with the bounce, which eventually leads to a fantastic header by Jude Bellingham. Exactly what Bellingham was doing throughout the season in Madrid, box crashing. Most of the threat was coming from dribbling and crossing of Saka on the right wing, and then by Jared Bowen, who came on later in the game, who sends a great cross here with Kane almost scoring, as you can see in this screenshot. There isn't much else to talk about in terms of England's attacking play because they didn't really create anything else in the game. But the good news for the England is that they were very solid defending. They didn't allow really any clear-cut chances for Serbia, and they were quite comfortable in the low block and didn't really suffer much. But England needs to do better in attack and has to find a way of creating more goal-scoring chances. So not good enough for me. That is why England is only 5th in the power rankings. Belgium was the only favorite to lose in their first match day, despite actually playing quite decently in attack and creating many chances. But the old Belgian story of Romelu Lukaku missing all those grade A chances continued in this game against Slovakia as well. Belgium was pressing high, stealing the ball and creating chances. This screenshot is just one example where it happened, which leads to a Belgian attack. Belgium was also good on transitions, thanks to Doku's speed. He created chances for Lukaku on several occasions. In general, Belgian passers regularly found Lukaku in space and created chances for him. But the most important thing is that Belgium failed to score. 2 of their goals were disallowed. Another bad news for Belgium is their poor defending against the Slovak team, which does not really have any world beaters in their squad. They made a couple of very simple coverage mistakes in defense, leaving acres of space for Slovak attackers. I'm not sure that the current group of Belgian defenders have what it takes to help their team to go deep in the Euros. Still, I expect Belgium to go through. After all, they cannot miss all their chances, right? At some point they have to score. But simply by virtue of being the only favorite who has lost in the first match day, Belgium is last in my power rankings. The main favorites of the Euro 2024, France, started the tournament with its usual solid yet unspectacular display in the group stage, but they still managed to defeat a very good Austrian team without really striving to dominate the game. As usual for France, the main threat comes from speed down the wing, particularly who else but Kylian Mbappe. He was in the middle of everything for France. Mbappe would make runs to spaces to find himself one-on-one with the goalie. He would speed down the wing, and one of the instances led to France's sole goal. He would offer himself for runs on counterattacks. He would combine with Theo Hernandez on the wing, who would constantly find spaces to make cutbacks into the box. He did the same for Camavinga later on in the game. Mbappe didn't score, but he was very good. The question is, how will France cope without him, possibly for the rest of the group stage? France has more than enough talent to succeed without Mbappe. Griezmann was not at his wonderful best in the game versus Austria, but he still found Mbappe with a great pass to send him one-on-one with the goalie. But Thuram and Dembele and whoever else is going to join them in attack have to step up. France was also very solid as usual in the back. They only gave one chance to Austria when William Saliba made a mistake in the first half, but the goalie Mike Maignan stood tall to prevent the goal. They didn't give any other chances to the Austrian attack. So for me, France didn't give us a single reason to doubt them. That is why they're second in these power rankings. And finally, Portugal, who scraped a very difficult 2-1 win against Czechia, having to come back from behind, scoring the winning goal in the dying seconds of the game. The peculiar thing about this Portugal team was that they played 2 nominal left backs, Nuno Mendes and João Cancelo, but Cancelo played more in a free role. He would roam around the midfield and you could see him anywhere really on the pitch throughout the game, and it's interesting to see if Martinez would continue with the same formation for the second game as well. Portugal looked for several ways to open up the Czech low block. In the first half, we often saw Leao dribbling to the line to send in cutbacks or to his right foot to send in crosses for Ronaldo. But not just Leao. Obviously, having Ronaldo as your striker gives you an opportunity to send in crosses. And Bruno Fernandes, Cancelo, Dalo and others did that, and on one occasion Portugal scored, but the goal was disallowed for a narrow offside. Portugal also regularly tried its luck from long distances. Fernandes and Vitinha can make fine strikes from 20-30 meters, so we will likely continue seeing this option used against low blocks. Bruno Fernandes also sent 2 killer balls into the box, but the goalie saved Ronaldo's attempt, while Leao was centimeters behind, just failing to reach the ball. Portugal had most of the possession throughout the game, and its defense was not really tested much. But when Czechs found a way to reach the final third, Portugal struggled to defend this space just outside the penalty box. On the first occasion, Czechs scored a screamer. On the second, they just missed. This is supposed to be Vitinha's position, but he was in the box to defend crosses. The coach Martinez may bring in Palhinha to solve this particular problem for the future games for one of the fullbacks. This is just the first game, but Portugal didn't really entirely convince me, but they still created more chances than, let's say, England, so for me they are 4th in this power rankings. Let's have a final quick look at the Euro 2024 favorites power rankings. Germany is obviously first, since for me they were the most impressive team in the first match day. France is second. They didn't really impress that much, they were quite conservative, but France is a known quantity by now, and we know that in the group stages they are usually in energy saving mode, so they are second for me. Spain was quite good, they're third for me after a good comfortable 3-0 win against Croatia. Portugal, England, Italy and the Netherlands, they're kind of like in a mushy middle of the favorites. They didn't impress entirely, they didn't convince fully, but they actually got the wins, so they're going 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th team for me. And Belgium comes last simply due to the fact they were the only favorites who lost in the first match day. And that is it for the recap of the early days of Euro 2024. So far it has been very entertaining, many great games, many beautiful goals and a lot of intrigue. I am your host Turgut, this is Football On Site. Please subscribe to this channel, hit that like and bell buttons, and see you on our next Euro 2024 videos.